Look, y'all. Y'all come on in this room. Y'all already know what time it is. Ooh, taking y'all back old school, like I always do. I think I be telling my age sometimes, but this one right here a little bit before my time. Oh, I just like that groove though.
Wanna buy a new car?
See, a lot of times when we start making a little money, we want to do all of this. But the price ain't right.
Be a damn flat cheaper.
Y'all come on in this room.
Start riding the bike. Listen,
Be cheap.
they're making milk out of powder. Yeah, they are.
I don't even think y'all remember powder milk back in the days.
Oh, baby, they know what that's.
Come on, we're going to get ready to get this thing started, ladies and gentlemen. This one is called You Have Not Because You Prepared.
Lord, it's the real motherfucker.
It's hard too. When you ain't prepared for something, it's a mother, man. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you what I know.
And if you look, you will discover.
Y'all come on in the room. We're getting ready to get started. Grab your pen and paper. I got a lot of unpack for you. I got a lot to unpack and a short time to give it to you. Come on, Curtis. I'm going to have to get to you after I drop these gold nuggets of information. What's happening, everybody? Welcome to Plugged In. Plugged In is where I give you the information that you need in order to set you free, or at least get you on the road to being free. So, you have not because you prepared. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to break this down. This is a deep dive into one of the programs that's in my course. It's called the 9-month Entrepreneurial Cycle. Now, this is going to have a lot of comparisons. It's going to have a lot of twists and turns, but I'm telling you, it's going to all pull together full scale, and you guys are going to get a lot out of this. So, let's break this thing down, ladies and gentlemen. The 9-month Entrepreneurial Cycle. Now, in some schools of thought, 9, there's not a number that's higher than the number 9. Now, I'm going to touch on a lot of stuff because over the years, I have been dropping little seeds on and off. So in some schools of thoughts, the number 9 is the highest number that you have in the numerical system. So the only, we didn't come to the 10s or 10 digits until we came into the imperial number system, which is here in the West. So when you break down the number 9, and we're relating this to business. So first thing you want to write down, the number 9 is the number of completion. 9 is the number of completion. That is very important. In a lot of religious studies, no matter what you study, Christianity, Islam, Buddhist, Hindu, Hare Krishna, the Quakers, it don't make no difference. 9, or the groups of 3s, is a number that is very important in the world of religion. So when you look at the number 9, you have 9 holes in your body. Now, I'm not counting your nose piercing and your ear piercings and your belly piercings and all of that other kind of stuff. I'm just talking about the original natural 9 holes that you were born with. Everybody, no matter who you are, you have 9 holes in your body. And I'm taking you somewhere. It's 9 months to complete pregnancy. 9 months. Now, yes, sometimes the child comes early, which we call those preemies. I don't know. I'm not saying that there isn't, but I don't know of a pregnancy that has extended longer than 9 months. I think by that time, they're getting ready to take the child if it starts to exceed that, because that's not good. But however, ladies and gentlemen, the number 9 is the number of completion. So in my courses, I start to teach people about this 9-month entrepreneurial business cycle, because you should start seeing results every 3 months. Every 3 months, you should start seeing results. From the time that you start and you get in and you start preparing yourself. And I'm taking this all the way back full scale, because a lot of times we don't have success in our business is because we didn't prepare for it. Now, let's relate that again. Let's go back to the pregnancy part. And I'm not picking on women at all, period. I'm just giving you some comparisons. Now, there's nothing, the reason why we don't want our children to have children early, not the fact that they are not they can't do it. They're just not prepared for everything that is to come. Now, there are a lot of you out there who are listening who've had children early yourself. And you can attest to how hard it was because you weren't prepared for everything that entailed on being pregnant. So it is in the business world. We think we want it. We know we want it, but we haven't prepared ourselves for it. Now, all of us, ladies and gentlemen, we have two things. God gives everybody these two things, a chance and a choice. But proper planning prevents piss-poor performance. When you properly plan for something, now you have did the research, you did the studying, you put all of the legwork in. So now when you receive it, you're ready to take it and run with it. Let me give you another example. When I first started practicing Islam, I started practicing in 1995. But I really didn't start practicing until 2002. When I met my brother lieutenant at the time. Now he's a student brother minister. But he stuck me on one order in our lesson. He stuck me on one lesson. And I was on that lesson for about a month and a half, almost 2 months. And he kept telling me every week, brother, that's not it. And I was like, it's got to be it. It's got to be it. See, you have to prepare yourself for positions waiting on you. Now, let me tell y'all something. What does that mean, to prepare yourself for something that you haven't even gotten yet? One, that used to drive me crazy, not drive me crazy, but it used to make me think all the time. And I finally understood that our lives are already pre-written in the future tense from the past. Think about that. God, who is omnipotent, omnipotent, everywhere, he is the beginner, the originator, and the end. So if he saw us back then in the past, but he wrote our lives in the future of what was to come, it was already going to happen. Now, the chance and the choice, remember? The choices that we make determines a lot of the chances that we receive if we prepare for them. So how do you prepare for something? Well, when you speak it into existence. When we pray for something, ladies and gentlemen, when we ask God for something or whoever you believe in, it doesn't really not make a difference at this point. You think that you're the only one that's in that room talking? I mean, quite naturally, you would think that you would be in the presence of God or whoever you believe in. I mean, I don't care if you believe in this microphone. It's not for me, but hey, do you? Who am I to tell you that it's wrong? But if you are in there asking and praying to God, your God, or whoever God you believe, if you're asking your God to take you out of this condition, to give you the ability to do for self, to give you the ability to create and start your own business. Do you think it's just you and God that's in there? Ladies and gentlemen, the enemy is in there with you too, sitting right there beside you, listening to everything that you are asking. Now, I heard Mike Tyson say one time in an interview, Mike Tyson said that God punishes you by giving you what you ask for to see if you can handle it. Now, I wouldn't tell Mike this in his face because Mike, even at 55, Mike still beat a lot of people up. But anyway, but it's not that God gives it to you. See, the enemy or Satan, whoever you want to put it on, negative energy, he gives you things too. A lot of times, now some people say you got a devil on one shoulder and an angel on the other shoulder. Nah, we ain't talking about that fairy tale stuff. We're talking about the two selves, the two halves in your own brain. The two parts of you, ladies and gentlemen. The two parts of you. You have a side of you that wants to do it by any means necessary, don't care what it takes, what it costs, how you got to get it, how you live about doing it. It has no immoral, you have no moral breaks on that side of you. But then on the other side of you, there's another self. So the first devil that you got to overcome is the devil within you, the negative within your own self. Because we was tell ourselves we want this, but then we'll turn right around and tell ourselves we not ready. It's nobody that's there with you. It's you by yourself. So here we are. So when you ask, when we set out to prepare ourselves, it's like somebody, let me give you this example too, and y'all can take this with you too. You know why the average lottery winner don't maintain their money after they've won mega millions? You can research this, ladies and gentlemen, for yourself. Google it. There's not too many, even the ones who've already had money before they won the lottery, even they have lost all of their money. Why is that? You would have thought that the money would have solved all of their problems. You would have thought that the money would have made them all right with the world. Remember, it's a lot coming in and out. I want to make sure that everybody can hear me. So please drop a 1 in the comments if you can hear me. But they lose that money because they didn't prepare for it before they got it. See, some people just out there buying tickets, not knowing who's going to win it. Please drop a 1 in the comment for the person that just came in. Please drop a 1 in the comments if you can hear me very well. I think it's a lag or a drag, but this is some key info that I'm giving you guys. But they didn't prepare for it. So when they just buying, hoping that they're going to win, and then when they win, they get all of this money dumped into their lap, and they just start buying stuff. First thing they start, man, I'm finna upgrade a house. Thank you, Maria, that you can hear me. Appreciate you. You can upgrade and buy a house. I just won this money. I'm finna upgrade and get me a new car. I'm finna upgrade. I'm gonna buy my mama a house. I'm just gonna set it out and we just gonna ball. But why they didn't prepare for it? Let me tell you something. If you're gonna be playing in that arena, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm relating this also to the entrepreneurial world and to this business world. See, to prepare for winning the lottery, first you need to start working on your credit. What is the use of having all of that money? The first thing you say is, I'm going to upgrade a house, but you still got a 400 credit score. You didn't prepare for it. So not knowing that there was going to come a time when the money was going to run out. Now you stuck with this big old house with a triple the amount of utility bills, and you don't have any more money left. You didn't prepare for it, for what happened to keep the money coming in. You then prepare your mind for how to manage the money. See, if you notice in the school, in the educational system, you have a business administration degree. Then you have a business management degree. That's two separate degrees, ladies and gentlemen, that's covering two different things. So you don't know how to manage your business. This is why when you just start spending, not even looking at, all you thinking in your head is, I got it. And you keep spending, and even if it's just chipping away, you didn't prepare your mind to what will happen if I get all of this money. All we looking at is the upgrade. We didn't even invest into a business. Most of those people didn't even consult another business or an investor or stocks or anything. They didn't even talk to them people. They just went straight to upgrading. They went from Uchi to Gucci just like that overnight. Now, all the previous times you have been buying some Uchi purses from Ray Ray at the Shell gas station out of his trunk, but now you want to all of a sudden hit Neiman Marcus because you got it. You were mentally unprepared. So it is in this business world. Now, the scriptures, even in whatever religion you practice, it doesn't matter. Again, this is not a religious teaching. This is a comparison. Because the scripture says, all you have to do is knock, and the door shall be open. If you ask, it shall be given. If you seek, you shall find. Now, let's clear this up and put this in the proper perspective. First, you have to seek. Know what you're looking for. Know what you want. Know where you want to go. Then there is a preparation stage. Remember, I told you it's in groups of threes. So first, you should seek, knock, and then ask. It's like when you go and you go into your friend's house. Your friend just moved into a new house. First, you got to find the house. So you got to seek out the house. Then when you get to the house, what do you do then? Knock on the door. Now, if somebody comes to the door that you don't recognize, then you ask for that person. So we have to put these in the proper order as it is in business. So first, you got to know what business you want to be in. Because just to say I want a business, that's too broad, ladies and gentlemen. There's a million different businesses out here in the world. So you got to know what you want to do first. Now, this is phase one, preparation. Now, I generally ask my clients when they come in and they want to take the course, I ask them the first thing. If time and money was not an issue, what would you really be doing? See, most of us never thought about that. And then the ones who have thought about that, see, some of us give us that cheese. A lot of my clients give me that cheese sandwich answer. Ooh, I'll be traveling. To where? All over the world. To where? All over the world is a big place. Where specifically would you want to go? They don't know. They just want to travel. See, that's a person who is all over the place. They have no concrete definition of what to do, how to do it, or where to start. Now, that's not necessarily bad. They're just ill prepared. A lot of times, people speak out of their emotion and not out of intellect. I just want to start a business. Doing what? Because you can start a business by cutting grass. Well, I don't want to do that. Well, okay, now we cooking. We know you don't want to do that. So if time and money, if you had the time and you had the money, what would you really be doing? See, I asked that question, and maybe some other coaches might ask that question as well. We asked that question, ladies and gentlemen, because that answer is what you're most passionate about. Some people might not want to sell a product. Some people might not have a service, but you are a wonderful public speaker. You are a motivating person. You're the one that's at the job that everybody asks you to say something when it's a company meeting. Because you have the influence and you know how to frame and use the words. So I coach, use what you have. Develop that. You know, there are several speakers that's out there. Your Les Browns, your Eric Thomas, your multiple people that's out there speaking. Michael Evans. All of these people are great motivational speakers. They don't have a product, but they themselves are the business. But how do you hit that level? You have to prepare yourself, ladies and gentlemen. You have to start out small speaking. Start speaking at local schools. Honing your craft, honing your skills. It's like sharpening that knife. You just can't go to a fight with a butter knife. You got to sharpen that. You got to prepare yourself for the fight. We call that training. When I was in the military, ladies and gentlemen, they just couldn't send me straight over to Afghanistan right off the street. Oh, they didn't care how many guns I had done shot at milk jugs and Crisco cans in the woods and in the backyard. I had to go through training to prepare myself because there were some things that those who had already been to war before me had saw, experienced, seen, heard, experienced. And they was preparing me for what I might see. Now that's part 2 to this series. Why you need a good coach. So through all of that training that I went through, it was preparing me for the what if, or the when. At that time, it was 1991 Desert Storm. The first one was going. So at that time, I knew I was going, but they had to prepare me to go. It's the same way in this entrepreneurial world, ladies and gentlemen. So you have to prepare yourself. Now, first thing you want to prepare yourself for is, and this is why a lot of times in this business space, we tell people, don't tell people what you are doing. Move in silence and let your results do the talking. Why do we that's another part 2 of the first phase or the first trimester of entrepreneurial learning. Don't tell everybody what you're doing. Why is that? A lot of times, ladies and gentlemen, when we speak, and we want, see, as people, we want our circles to be happy for what we have embarked on. So we want a business, we started this business, so we want to tell our friends so they'll be happy for us. But the reason why we tell people don't be broadcasting that is because you will really learn who your real friends are when you start trying to separate and extend the gap. Once you start separating, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we talked about on the last podcast. When you start separating those tare friends from the wheat friends, it's a must. You learn who will wrap themselves around you and start to choke the life out of your dreams. That's because we have told it ourselves. So it is not that you don't want them to share into your happiness. They aren't prepared for it yet because they still think you just the homie or the homegirl from around the way. They want to come over and start gossiping. They want to come over and start partying and hanging out and drinking and bust open the spade game and the domino game. And you don't have time for that now because you are preparing yourself for a position that's waiting on you. And they might not understand that. Hey, man, let me catch you another time, man. I got something going on right now at the house. But when you tell them that, you're going to find yourself, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to find yourself getting invited to a whole lot of cookouts. Right at the time when you are in the middle of one of the most benefiting books that you've ever read. We're going to get to that too. Because reading, not only is it fundamental, but the best knowledge, ladies and gentlemen, is hid inside of a book. Why is that? Why is the best knowledge and the best information hidden in a book? Because we don't read. See, so the information has always been out there for us, but we want the Cliff Note version. See, but in the reading aspect, the researching, we are preparing ourselves. You will hear a lot of successful entrepreneurs and business owners and millionaires and multimillionaires and even billionaires tell you. Warren Buffett says he reads over 15 books a month. Ooh, that's a lot of reading. That's a lot of reading. But knowledge for something that you didn't know is in a book that was done by somebody else. So we have to prepare ourselves. We reading, we researching, we in the lab, we working on us. Because this is something that we have never done before. Now let's go back to this number 9. And I'm gonna tell y'all, write this down. It's 30 now. In my school of thought, our study says that the enemy consumes, or actually it says Satan, the enemy, the haters, whatever you want to use it. Whatever the word you want to substitute. But I want you to write this down because this is powerful. Satan consumes 3 cubic feet of air. 3 cubic feet. I wish I had my dry erase markers because I can go to the board and just break this down for y'all. But on your paper, where you're writing this down, I want you to write a box. Just draw a box. That's a cube. 4 sides is a cube. Actually, if you put the top and the bottoms and the sides, just think of a box. Put yourself in the center of that box. Now, north, east, south, and west, 3 feet. 3 cubic feet. You will come encounter with a hater, negativity, Satan on all 4 sides of you in that box. This is why you also, ladies and gentlemen, have to prepare yourself. So every day that you are on this entrepreneurial journey, you are going to come encounter or come in contact with something that's going to try to throw you off your path. How do I know this, ladies and gentlemen? Because I did a lot of things wrong. I was just bullheaded. I'm just barreling straight forward. Until I met my advisor, who told me where all of the bombs were. And he laid it out in degrees how I should move. Step here, step there. Don't step here. Don't do this. Don't spend your money on that. You don't need a bank loan, Robert. Don't get yourself in debt and married to a debt before you even made the first dollar. I was preparing myself. A lot of times when people just see the end results, they don't know that this has been in the making. Actually, the serious time is actually been in the making ever since 2001. But I did a whole lot of messing up from 2001, from my first shop that was only open for 1 year. I was not prepared for it. I thought I knew. Oh, I got to get me a building. And I'm going to get a building on the richest part of real estate of Gaston, Alabama. I was right there on Megan Boulevard and Hood Avenue. For those of you who are watching this, y'all know where it was. Right there, it used to be the Waffle House that sat on the corner. I think now it's some kind of check cashing place. And then right across the street from that is the EMT service building. My shop was right next door to the service, the EMT service center. My oldest brother gave me the money to get that building. And I thought that's what I had to do. Now, I had been doing leather work ever since 1995. I thought I was prepared. I was only prepared, ladies and gentlemen, to do the work. I wasn't prepared for the business part. My shop only stayed open 14 months. Because now I have 2 of every bill. Ooh. I got 2 of every bill now. So I wasn't prepared for that. So when the shop closed, I felt defeated. It put a lot of pressure in my personal world that I wasn't prepared for. So I closed that shop down, turned around, learned a lot of things about business, how to keep the business side going, not just doing the work, but how to do the business side. But I still didn't prepare myself diligently. I just didn't do a lot of the things wrong the first time. Still didn't study, still didn't read any books, still didn't talk to any other successful person in the leather industry that had been doing this for a while. I thought in my head I knew what I was doing. So when I opened up the second shop in 2008, now 2001, closed in 2002 to 2008, 6 years, I got another building. Not even knowing, ladies and gentlemen, that the business world hadn't changed at that point in time, and you didn't need a traditional brick and mortar building to have a business. I didn't learn that, ladies and gentlemen, until 7 years ago. Look at all of that time. Because I was not prepared. I had not, because I prepared not. So the second time when I opened, now I got stuff and product in the shop. But then I have a lot of people that's coming in for repair work or custom work. They didn't want none of the stuff that I had already done worked on and then ran out of material. They want new stuff or they want repair stuff. Didn't prepare for that part. I managed to stay open a little longer than 14 months this time, but it shut down. It completely shut down again. So at this time, I just said, forget about having a store and a business. I'm just going to go on the festival circuit and the flea market circuit. I'm just going to travel around to all of the flea markets and festivals within 300-mile radius. Now, here it is again. In my mind, I'm already what we call deceptive intelligence. I'm deceiving myself intellectually and making it sound good. Because I'm telling myself, well, if I could take just 100 belts Just belts. 100 belts to these flea markets and these festivals, and I'm going to charge $25 a belt. $15 to $25 a belt. 15 for children, 25 for adults. Now, on the top end, if I can sell all 100 at $25, a $2,500 weekend, ooh wee! I'm just sitting here already counting up the money that I haven't even made. You see, deceiving myself intellectually because it was a good idea, but I didn't prepare for it. Because what I didn't average into all of that money that I haven't even made yet, I have to buy enough material to make 100 belts. Now, here it is, ladies and gentlemen. I gotta make 100 belts. That means I have to have 100 belt buckles. Then that means I have to have 200 rivets. All of this stuff. So now I got to buy the bulk stuff. And still don't know even if I can sell all 100. So now I started calculating in my mind, I'm only going to attend festivals and flea markets that have a crowd of 5,000 people or more. Sound good, right? But I did prepare for some of these festivals, ladies and gentlemen. You got to pay $750 to set up a tent or a booth there. Before you even get there, you got to put that $750 up. So I'm already in the rears. When you don't properly prepare yourself, when you get to the position, it's not going to work in your favor. How does that relate to business? And I've been dropping y'all the whole time. I've been dropping you seeds the whole time. You want a business, but you're still watching the television. You want a business, but you can't let love and hip hop go long enough to read about what you want. You want a business, but you can't stay out of the club, the bars, the juke joints. You want a business, but you want to keep it real with your homies because you don't want them to think that you all bougie or not. You want a business, but I got to get in me a relationship first. See, hold up. I didn't mean to offend nobody. But I'm telling you what I have experienced. If I'm in a relationship, then they can help me. See, you got to think, ladies and gentlemen, your business is your dream. It's not the person that you with or the person you want to be with. It's not their dream. They can care less about your dream. See, again, you have to prepare yourself for positions waiting you in every aspect of life. You got to prepare yourself even to be in a relationship. If you don't prepare yourself for a relationship, then once you get in a relationship, you're not going to know how to operate in that relationship. Why is that? And I'm going into the weeds, but I'm going to have to bring it all the way back. Two different people raised two different ways, have two different mindsets and two different ideologies, sometimes ideologies, about how to be productive in a relationship. And you're trying to mash them two people together. He raised one way, she raised another way. She think already she know what she got to do. And a lot of times that ain't wrong. He think he knows what he doing. All I got to do is just go out here and work and pay bills. And wrong answer. Same thing it is in business. Well, all I got to do is get product, get a building, get a name, and then I got a business. And wrong answer. You got to get registered, licensed, bank account, insurance. Then you got to pay taxes. You need to know all of these things before you even jump off into talking about, I got a business. Some people just they just bought an extra job. Some people are calling a hustle, a side hustle, a business. No, dude, just because you wash cars on the weekend don't mean you got a business. You just got to hustle. I'm going to tell you how, and this is for everybody who have a detail shop, If you don't know your waste management from the soap that you use, how many cars, how much soap do you use per car? How much water do you use per car? How many washes can you get out of that wash towel? How many drying poppers? It's a whole lot of details and things, a whole lot of parts about business that you don't know about, Mr. Detail Man. If you don't know how much soap goes onto every car, let me tell you how I know this. Because when you wash a car, you got a 5-gallon pickle bucket that you done got from somewhere. And so most of the times when you go to these places that wash cars, they just squirting dish liquid into the bucket until they start seeing foam. Now, the general mindset is, I'm going to go to Dollar Tree. Now, what they doing is they doing dope boy economics. Remember that. Dope boy economics says, I'm going to go to Dollar Tree, spend me $1.25 on a bottle of Joy liquid, dish liquid, and I'm just going to squirt that in the bucket. It didn't cost me nothing but $1.25. You can make a lot more money if you knew your waste ratio. Because when you go to these automatic car washes, and when you go in there, if you got a glimpse to see how through all of the suds and stuff, you can see they have those lines running into those gallon jugs that they have, soap, cleaner, Windex, whatever the case may be. That machine only pours out so much chemical or soap per vehicle. So these are things that you have to prepare yourself for, so you can minimize your waste spending to maximize your top line revenue. If you don't know what top line revenue is, top line revenue, bottom line revenue, you're not preparing yourself. Some of us, we used to be, that's going off into another one. And I'm going to wrap this up because we're at the 43-minute mark. So you have to prepare yourself, ladies and gentlemen, to be on this entrepreneurial journey. You got to prepare yourself. You have to cross all of your T's and dot all of your I's. Be on your P's and your Q's at all times. Now, the opportunity is there. The chance is there. The choice is yours to make, but don't make a choice out of an emotional mindset without studying and understanding what you are getting yourself into. See, some of us, I can tell you from personal experience, and this goes into everybody, your dreams is not your significant other's dream. See, when you hit those late nights grinding and you've been gone all day from 5 o'clock in the morning to 11, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock sometimes in the morning, and you've been away from the house all day long, when you left home, your spouse was in the bed, and when you get back home, your spouse is in the bed, but you wired up trying to microwave some food to eat. You've been so busy you ain't even ate yet. Then you got to try to clean up, shower, and get in the bed. Now you're waking up the whole house, cutting lights on. I'm going to tell you, family, It's an irritating thing when you come home and your spouse's mouth is poked out like a roll of quarters. Mad. They haven't seen you in days. For real, for real. You have to prepare yourself for that. You even have to prepare for the conversation. Hey, baby, listen. I want to do this business. I don't know how long it's going to take me to get from point A to point B. Remember, now I give you the setup in the system in 3-month increments. The power of 3. Now, and I wanted to give you this too, real quick while it's on my mind. Then I'm gonna come back to it. But I'm actually finish this thought. Then I'm gonna come back. So you want to have that first. That's the part 3. The part 3 of phase 1. You got to have that conversation with the person that you are involved with, because they are not going to understand, and especially if you have children, you're going to be missing a lot of events. Football games, basketball games, volleyball games, band camps, and a whole lot of other things, because children are definitely not going to understand that you are trying to build something for their future, not just yours, but for them to take over when they grow up. Now let me go back to this number of 3. 36, ladies and gentlemen, 36. Remember that, 36. There's not a number higher than 9. So what we do, we add the 3 and the 6 together to come up with 9. Now, in the military, 36 inches is so very important, because 36 inches is equal to a full step. So, and this goes back to that cube in that box that I was telling you guys about. Because one step in any direction, north, east, south, or west, behind you, you are going to come into contact with adversity, negativity, haters, envious people, jealous people. And you have to prepare yourself of how to handle that. You got to prepare yourself of how to handle those situations. See, negativity, Satan, the enemy, can only hit you 5 ways. 5 ways. The enemy can only attack you 5 different ways. And those 5 ways are the 5 senses. Somebody write that down. You can only be attacked, ladies and gentlemen, from what you hear, what you see, what you taste, what you touch, and what you smell. Any one of these 5 things can throw you off your path, even as someone who is embarking on an entrepreneurial journey. The first thing that's going to be attacked is your hearing. Somebody's going to be talking about you. And they're going to make you feel some type of way. Now, the things that happen to us, ladies and gentlemen, that comes across our path, is not for us. It's not for us. And I've said this before on another podcast. The things that we go through and the things that happen to us is for somebody else who is watching. They might not have a strong faith like we do. They might not have a strong spine or backbone like we do. Their skin might not be as thick as ours. Sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, I even have to catch myself sometimes, even today. One, I got a thing against stupidity. And it's almost offensive. Well, it ain't almost offensive. To me, it is offensive for somebody to think that I'm that stupid that I don't know what they saying, or what I call indirect hating. They're not hating straight out. Remember I told you to watch the slow clappers? Sometimes you got to watch for those slow laughers too. And I'm going to tell you what a slow laugher is. They'll say something in the form or in the frame of a joke, but they really mean it. To get everybody else around within earshot. See, they're trying to attack through the hearing. They're trying to attack, and then they'll laugh it off. You know, I'm just playing. Nah, man, I'm just be playing. I ain't got time to play with you. I don't know why they bought that car, man. Shoot, they barely can afford that. He barely. I don't know why he bought that Jag, man. He barely can afford that S10. Hey, Muhammad. You remember when you had that ragged S10, man, and it had died, and you was having to jump it off every time you came to work. Why would somebody do that? Unless they coming at you. Now, for all of those who heard that, they watching my response. My response. Because if they'll do it to me, they'll do it to them. So you have to prepare yourself, ladies and gentlemen. You know, in the book called Bible, it says you got to put on the whole armor of God. Think about that now, armor. Now, back in the days, in that biblical time, they used to have the whole knight's armor on. All the way down to the metal gloves. They had the whole headpiece. You had to put on the whole armor. Why is that? Because the pain or the affliction or the attack came in those 5 areas. Now, sometimes you can be standing in line. Now, I'm going to save that for part 2. But you got to suit up, ladies and gentlemen, and prepare yourself. First thing we're going to do, you want to start studying. Find out first what it is you want to do. Narrow that down. I even tell my clients to write it down. Writing makes you actually look at it now. So it's not just an idea in your head. Oh man, I know what I want to do. Write it down. Because now when you write it down, it's not in your head anymore. Now you can look at it. I just told one of my clients, look, they need to get, you can go and get a bunch of these little sticky notes. And y'all can see I use them. Boom, I use mine. These sticky notes are everywhere. Rear view mirror, dashboard, steering wheel. Because when I get a thought in my head, I write it down. So I don't want it to go away. I don't want to lose it because I was blessed and fortunate enough to receive it. Now I know it. You'll be surprised how many times I wake up in the middle of the night and writing stuff down. Then I go right back to sleep. I mean, I write it down, literally, because I know now when I do get around to it, I need to start studying and preparing that in order for me to make these thoughts come to fruition. You want to write it down so you can see it. Then you can start planning and breaking it down on how to bring it about full scale. Hey, listen, I thank you guys for chilling with me. I stayed on here a little bit longer than I really wanted to, but I think you got the first half of this, the first phase, the first 3 months. First, even before you start your initial entrepreneurial cycle, take time to prepare yourself to even start. I tell all of my clients when they take my course, listen, you need 1 hour of uninterrupted time because I need your full attention to receive what I am about to give you. Because you're only going to be with me for 6 weeks, and then it's just consulting over the next 3 months or the next 2 months. or month and a half. I'm only going to be with you for 6 weeks of giving you this information. And then over the next month and a half, I am only going to be consulting. But I need you to focus. So you have to even prepare to start preparing. Like when you go on vacation. You already know when you're going on vacation, so you start packing and buying stuff weeks before you even go. It's the same thing, ladies and gentlemen, when you are even embarking on this entrepreneurial journey. You got to start preparing for it. And then when you have a good teacher or a good coach, they're not just going to let you come in and just start spending and blowing money. I don't. I tell all of my clients, listen here, this is what you need. This is what we're going to do. If you can't do this, look, stop right there. It's not a hardship because I don't want you to get discouraged on the beginning stages because that will deter you. Starting a business, ladies and gentlemen, is not hard. It's this right here. This is the part. This is the first devil or the enemy that you got to overcome is the one in between your ears. Is it a lot of work? Yes. Everything in life is a lot of work. Everything is. It requires work. Even a marriage, it requires work. I don't know nobody who just went into any marriage and it was just all celestial choirs and birds tweaking, whatever, tweeting. It's a lot of work in everything. But when you prepare yourself, when you practicing, like when you play sports, if you ever play sports, the ones who practice are the ones who started. And the ones who practice are the ones that got to shoot the ball or throw the ball, run the ball, whatever case you want to be. But you got to practice. Even if you was a band geek, you had to practice the melody, the notes, all of that, the right pitch, the right tone, the right sound. You had to practice that. And the ones who practice were the ones who got first chair, second chair, third chair, and then everybody else, you just... The ones who practice were the ones who got the solos. You can look at dance groups. The ones who practiced the hardest were the ones that was out front. Lead singers. Michael Bivins and Ronnie DeVoe, it was a reason why they wasn't out front and leading the songs. Well, part of that is because they couldn't really sing, but not the fact that they couldn't practice. But that wasn't them. What I'm trying to get you to see. Anyway, that might have been a bad example because Bill Biv DeVoe sold a lot of millions of records. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you guys on the other side. I am Robert D. Muhammad. I'm gonna leave you as I came, because I really want you guys. I hope you guys got a lot out of that.
Throw your troubles away.
Because if you go back and catch this on the replay, I unpacked a lot. I unpacked a lot, and I hope you can pick it up. And I'll see you guys on the other side. Peace.
Well, all right. And then the lights come on. Yeah.